Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm running a tiny bit late, but welcome back, everybody. Let me get a screen up. Okay, how's everyone doing? We've opened about a minute ago. Hopefully, you can all hear me. The mic should be working. Sean Evans, good morning to you. Holy Earth, good morning. Con, Nils, Cody, Dave, Alameen, Andy, Peter, Mohammed, everyone is back. How are we all doing today? All right, let's see what this open has to bring. I'm going to mark out the charts real quick, see if there's any areas of interest. Really, it's all bearish, right? Bear, sell, 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 essentially. So we're looking for, oh, look at this open. Beautiful. All right, let's just, oh, wow, look at that. Look at that buy volume just came in right at the bottom there. That's a lot of these. I don't even know, actually. No, that must be fresh. Oh, look at this sell-off. All right. Happy Friday, Coach. Ange, the Resolute Trader, hello to you as well. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. All right. Let's just get my charts all ready. Dun, dun, dun. Load everything up. Cool. Okay. I think we are ready to rock and roll. Let's just let it play out, I guess. That would be my way of handling this. Just let it play out, figure out what it wants to do. Obviously, massive, sell pressure came into the market as expected, and we're just going to kind of, let people get out the market, kind of, one sort of cycle, and then we can start figuring out what we want to do. I mean, those buyers there, these are going to be some fresh buyers trying to get in, but they look like they could be trapped here. So might be, let's just see what happens, We don't want to jump the gun on anything. Autumn, good to see you. Charis, welcome back. Alexis, great to see you. And Ola, good to see you, my friend. How's everyone doing? I had a massive losses today trying to fade like an idiot. You've been trying to buy. Hey, no, it's all good. It's all good. None of the absorptions work. Yeah, today's one of these days. You really don't want to be going against the sellers. I mean, there's a few opportunities where you could have bought, but even when we go up, it's very choppy and kind of not particularly nice. Do you know what I mean? In the way it's kind of actually moving. So, but we are seeing this kind of, sellers pooling up. Let's see if they can break these lows. If they can break these lows, they're going to keep going down. Buyers are still trapped at the top. So it's not looking terrible for the sellers. They're starting to break below. Stormer, good to see you. Uncle, Manu, Cherry, everyone's back. Beautiful, beautiful. But yeah, there's a lot of volume right now coming in. But I feel like there might be a bit of a pullback at some point. But we'll see. We'll keep waiting. We're just going to kind of wait for, sellers to calm down. Bit of sideways movement, something, to kind of so we can jump in, because I don't want to just jump in. Like, there's a bunch of buyers that came in. But it really does look like the sellers are just not not holding off here. Oh, look at that, 1.6. So that could be some take profits there potentially. I don't think it's going to be really sellers. Fresh. It could be fresh sellers. Who knows? Hard to know. We would have to, let's draw a line there and see if there's anything of interest on higher time frames. I mean, we'll be going back. Let's just see how it reacts. I just kind of want to wait a second and actually see what this area does before making a decision. All right. Kind of staying below it, so it looks like it might be legit. It might be legit here. Let's go to like the 4 hour, see if there's anything of interest on that black line. that we just drew, where that massive spike, they're going back again. I feel like that could be take profits or something. I mean, we're going back a long time. There's nothing really majorly of interest, maybe just that bit of consolidation, but nothing that really, like a significant level. So I don't know. Maybe it was partially people taking profit, but okay, some buyers trying to come back in, but they're being kind of held off. Notice how it's kind of being defended, that volume. So for me, I don't think it was necessarily take profits, but we shall see. We shall see. So we're just going to wait until sellers actually exit the market and calm down, and buyers can kind of take a little bit of control, and then we can, short it again and kind of do something. But we're just keeping our eye on the order flow if there's anything of interest here. There's a big chunk of buyers potentially coming in. Are they going to do much? Who knows? Let's have a look. Not a bad chunk, is it? Look at that, 1,700 contracts. But let's see what happens to those buyers. Are they able to get it much higher? Okay, it looks like they might actually do something here. So if we're going to treat those sellers here not as take profits, because I didn't really see anything of interest. So if they get squeezed out, then buyers might bring it up a bit, and then we can potentially short again. So let's see what's happening here. But because that's a lot of buy volume coming in, I think that's a lot of sellers also dropping out. Where would the sellers have their stops? Maybe up here, potentially. I mean, we just kind of flooded down. There's no real major structure. So we kind of want to wait until, sellers get tested in that respect. Oh, look at that buy volume. Wow. All right, fresh sellers coming in just at the tip there. Do you have gold order flow set up? Yeah, I mean, you can trade gold futures. Absolutely. You can do it. Ola, I personally don't trade gold, but you absolutely, it's called GC. It's the futures contract for gold. Always the ticker symbol even for gold. So you can absolutely use gold. That's not a problem. I would say if you're trading order flow, best to stick to the ES or the NQ. They're usually better for order flow than gold, because gold is a huge market. The futures market alone is the only data you'll see, and it's just not that big compared to the whole global gold market. So order flow doesn't work as well, unfortunately, with gold. That's one thing to keep in mind. But you can definitely use it, to help enhance your decisions. All right, we're getting above there. We're going to get a bunch of buy orders, kind of, a big spike. We're not seeing it. So sellers haven't. It's hard to know where the sellers have dropped out, to be honest. I don't think they've dropped out just yet. I mean, definitely some sellers, of course, have dropped out. On this move up, we definitely, some of this buy volume is going to be, some of the sellers who got in basically getting out. But we're seeing, fresh sellers trying to push the market down, and they're kind of failing right this second. So we don't want to jump in just yet. Until they start, we want to know who's fresh buyers, who are fresh sellers. So there's a bit of fresh buying, but nothing major yet. Buyers aren't as aggressive at the top here, but sellers also are not really that aggressive at this moment in time. So we'll keep it going and see what happens. We shall see. Look at that, fresh buying coming in. So it's these guys are gonna dictate what happens next, and it looks like they're still pushing it up. Still haven't seen sellers really drop out, but we're not seeing much sell pressure either in the market, right? There's a bit of, all right, we're getting below that 300. We kind of want to get below that that 487. You see those fresh buyers? If we can kind of get below them, then we might be able to squeeze out the buyers, and this market might drop again. But we're still not really seeing. There's a massive battle going on here, guys. Huge battle. All right, this could be potentially a move. Are we seeing it? Let's have a look. That's happened so quick. Can they get below? I might go in short just one contract, see if they can squeeze them out now. But realistically speaking, I don't kind of want to get much higher, so my stop is going to be up here. In terms of take profit, I mean, we're in price discovery. Like, you know, we just kind of have to trail it essentially. I mean, it could go anywhere, right? I want to see fresh sellers still come in. We really want to squeeze out these buyers. If we see a big spike of sell volume, maybe like below those wicks, we know that those buyers are potentially squeezed out. And as long as sellers keep coming in aggressively, we've got the next leg. So it's not confirmed yet. Nothing has been confirmed, but I got in a bit early to hopefully, just because we're in such a bearish market, maybe, you know, I can imagine sellers might, take over very quickly if they wanted to. So hopefully they do. Hopefully they do. But you can see that there's like a bit of, a bit of a battle. Buyers are trying to keep the line here. They don't want to get stopped out, buyers. But they're going to have to drop out because it's such a bearish market. I can't imagine them holding for that much longer. If the pressure gets too hard, I can't imagine them holding. They're going to want to get out the market, right? But look, they're still adding these buyers. We're seeing buy volume. Wow, look at that big buy volume coming in. Let's see if the sellers can quickly push them back down. If not, I might be looking to exit because sellers are struggling to break through here, which is not ideal. We kind of want, you know, sellers to be a bit more able, you know. Yeah, look at that. Buyers are adding. They are still adding, but it's fine. We can look at that. 800 contracts on the overall. Look at that, 400. Wow, that is a lot of volume. Lots and lots of volume. Yeah, buyers might take it here. Look at that. They keep adding it. I mean, I'm going to keep my stop where it is just in case sellers want to come back in at these highs, because these are fresh buyers right now. All these guys. If they can, again, if sellers want to take control, sell a bit higher up and push down and get below them, that's an even better move for us. So we kind of don't want to get out just yet. But it looks like I'm not really seeing any sellers wanting to come in right now. You know, I thought there might be a little bit more eager to actually jump in, these sellers, but apparently not. It's all just buy volume right now. So we'll just wait it out. Maybe some sellers will come in. All right, we're below a big chunk of buyers, but buyers just reloaded again with another, I mean, loads of volume, right? Ton of volume. Tiny bit of selling coming in now, finally. But we need more than that, a lot more than that. That's nowhere near enough. That the buyers managed to break through. All right, didn't quite work, unfortunately. Buyers are still far more aggressive. I expected sellers to be a bit more eager there. But I also haven't really seen a massive spike in the buy volume in one chunk, which means I don't think many sellers had their stops above there. I mean, we obviously got, you know, just before the open, we got that area. But what I'm looking out for is a big spike in buy volume to indicate either buyers have exited, sellers have got stopped out, something of that nature, you know. But we haven't really got that yet, so we're still waiting, very much waiting. Oh, look at that! That was definitely a bit of a spike there. Spiking a little bit. I think some sellers are dropping out, definitely, but they're dropping out in stages. They're not dropping out in one big chunk. I want to really see an obvious spike, like one where you know, it's really obvious. We've got the point of control at the top here, so that should be quite interesting how that reacts. And then we obviously have, you know, above the open, this high here, it's that black line. So these are more key kind of areas at this moment in time. Now, it's very hard to know who these buyers are, right? I think because the structure is very, I mean, we had a shit ton of sellers at the open here. I can imagine a lot of that buy volume will be sellers getting out at break even potentially, or getting trailed out. But sellers are still happy to basically sell. But we really want to see some, you know, we want to be able to confirm the buyers that are coming in are fresh buyers. Like these are going to be fresh buyers at 40 and stuff. These are fresh sellers for sure. Definitely fresh sellers. But they're not really doing much right now. You know, they're kind of struggling, these sellers. We want to see them, you know, make a bit more damage. There's a big chunk there, 500 it went up to, but nothing, like they're not really doing anything right now. Do you know what I mean? And look at that again. All right, we're getting to that point of control now. Let's just keep our eye on it, see what happens with the volume. Buyers are coming in very aggressively, to be fair. They are not messing about today, are they? Again, fresh sellers coming in, but failing. There's some fresh buyers. Okay, interesting. All right. But as a whole, sellers are still failing, right? They're not really a lot of speculation if there could be escalation in Iran over the weekend. Absolutely. Oh, there's a big chunk. You really want to see, you know, buyers get trapped and squeezed out before you want to enter a short on this market right now. I still think we're going to drop a bit. It's just you don't want to get chopped up too much, you know? I mean, that's a lot of sell volume. I kind of just came. I mean, that's going to be a lot of buyers as well, potentially getting out. So we want to see fresh sellers, fresh buyers. It's hard to kind of track who's who at this moment in time. These are fresh buyers. Now, if these guys fail, we could jump in. Potentially. All right, they look like they're failing. I'm going to go in. That was very preemptive. Hopefully we keep them trapped at the bottom there. So we don't really want to go much higher than that now. But we need to keep seeing more sellers come in, and really flood this down. Do you know what I mean? Then, yeah, we got to move. We got a really nice move. Just keeping my eye. That's nice. That's nice. That's it. Keep adding. Keep adding. Don't slow down momentum. We don't want to see any buyers really come in. We want to see there's some buyers getting stopped out. You see just below that wick, we had a big spike in, but more buyers coming in. They need to fail. These guys need to fail. We get the hell out. If they become too effective, cut it. So we want to get below those current buyers. That's it. 85 on the sell side, back to 100. Keep adding that volume. There it is, and keep plummeting this market down. Come on, break through this little area here, because we've got a little area of consolidation before. There's going to be stops below that as well. We want to really break through all that. No messing about. Get below that black line. Come on. Get below that black line. We know there's going to be stops there. We want to see them all get wiped out. I will check the chat in a second after this trade. Come on. In fact, I could probably get rid of my take profit. I don't want to just get out at the lower, because it could keep going. Do you know what I mean? This is a very trendy market. As long as sellers keep that momentum, we don't want to see that. We almost took them out, but buyers are coming back in. They're defending their stops aggressively. We need more sellers coming in to squeeze them out. Come on. Let's not fail here, boys. That would be very sad if we fail here. Come on, one last push. Wipe them out the market. There we go. Come on. I still haven't seen a big spike. Maybe a few, maybe already a lot of them got out on the move down, because that was a lot of momentum. I can imagine a lot of people dropped out without letting their stops get hit, but there was definitely a bit of defensive play there. Come on, keep that momentum. 300. We're starting to see buyers are happy to transact here again, which is not nice. I don't like that. I want to see buyers fail. Get below that 167, 177, below that. Quickly get below it. Look at that. Buyers are adding. That's it. Quickly below, but keep below it and get them out. They're still adding, some of these buyers, but sellers are happy to keep shorting here, which is good. Nice. Woo. Very nice. Nicely done. But let's not lay off the gas, you know. Keep it going. Keep it going. There's no reason to stop. All right, we're approaching that low now, so naturally there's going to be a lot of stops as well at that low. Okay, I'm just going to draw that low out. And also, naturally, as we get closer to the low, there's going to be less people interested in shorting the market the closer you get to a low, right? So it starts becoming a little bit more difficult, but it's kind of like a balancing act. You kind of want buyers to be like, yeah, actually, maybe not, and not really come in at the low, but sellers willing to play the breakout. But since we're in a good trending market, I can imagine there will be some sellers willing to potentially play a breakout trade. So hopefully that momentum continues. But you can see the volume is kind of dropping. Few buyers coming in. People are being very cautious near these lows, which makes sense. The low of the day. Buyers are still more happy to enter, but we got some sell pressure coming in. That's it. 198. Good. 100. There's some fresh sellers coming in. But buyers are still happy to transact near the low. 200. There's buyers coming in. We need to get below them. Let's not fail. Let's not mess around here. Come on, boys. We can keep holding this. There it is. Oh, beautiful. That's what I'm talking about. Look at all those stops get hit. Now we need fresh sell pressure to keep playing this. Play the breakout. Don't, hold off. We don't want sellers to be like, oh, okay, cool. Definitely some take profits, stops getting hit. But we need that fresh. You see how that number is actually increasing more to the buy side? That's telling us there's buyers trying to buy this up. But we need to see the numbers keep dropping more into the negative. 400, that's good. That means more sellers coming in. We want to see it go more negative, keep going more negative. See more sell pressure come in to keep this market flooding down, right? There we go. Good, good. Keep it going. We don't want it. We don't want that momentum to stop. The moment you see sellers start like, okay, I'm happy, we get out too. We don't want to. We don't want to be involved, right? But as of yet, it's looking still good. We're still seeing fresh sell pressure. Look at that, 300. Good. As long as that doesn't stop. There's a bit of buying still happening. I'm amazed. Oh, that was nice. Come on. Good little spike. I'm amazed. What's it called? That buyers are still happy to buy here. You would think buyers would be like, yeah, actually, forget this. So I am in my cash account as well, and I've got it on this screen. That's why I keep looking over here, because I'm in the exact same trade on my cash. So I will exit my cash first before I exit. There's a big spike of volume before I exit this account. All right, I want to see. Come on. Come on. All right, that's the first bit of green we're seeing coming in, but we want to get below that very quickly. This might be where sellers start exhausting themselves, but no, they're still coming in, 193, 260, but they need to get below. There's some iceberg sitting here because there's sell pressure coming in, but we're not dropping. So we need to break through that iceberg. Come on, break through. You're so close, boys. Come on. You got this. Break through. Don't let those buyers come in. I may start looking to potentially get out. I think they're exhausted. I'm out of my cash. I'm going to get out on the Ola Prime as well. All right. We're just not. Oh, there's a bit of sell pressure came in, dropped it back down. I was maybe a little bit too quick to get out. But it's fine. It's fine. I think that was a nice move. I did very nice on my cash there as well. So good. I'm happy with that. All right, now I can look at the chat. Sorry about that, guys. Thanks, man, for responding in the middle of a tennis session. You're welcome. You're welcome, Ola. Peter said a lot of speculation if there could be escalation in Iran over the weekend, especially around boots on the ground and missed potential peace talks. Lots of uncertainty, 100%. But the way the market's reacting right now, I have a feeling boots on the ground will be something that will be announced very soon. Because, look, most of this volume, it's not going to be retail. Oh, look at it, it's still going down. I should have held. Never mind. Most of this volume is not retail traders. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot of it is well, majorities are institutional, and institutions are very happy to just keep shorting. That it's a huge sell-off, right? Like, yeah, you know, we get little pushes up once in a while, but as a whole, I think boots on the ground is what the market is telling us, that the situation with Iran is going to escalate. That's what the market is already pricing in. And there's people who obviously already know what the longer term plan is, people who have got insider information. The market is basically telling us what will probably happen. Unlikely that everything will be, you know, ceasefire and everything will be good. I mean, it could potentially happen still, you know, if there's been no leaks to anyone and people. But in my opinion, the amount of sell volume, look, we're already at negative 26,000 delta. Even pre-market, there was so much sell volume. That to me is telling me that there's escalation happening. And you're right, it could be over the weekend, could be you know, announced whenever, but there's definitely, it's not a good sign. You know, it's not a good sign. I've got 6,500 as strong resistance right now. 6,500. Oh, that was right at the top. Well, yeah, 6,500 would have been a very nice resistance. Didn't quite get there, but very well. Nice psychological level as well. So good stuff, Manu. I hope you caught some of that short as well. How do you tell if they're fresh buyers or previous sellers covering? Jay, great question. So the only way you can really tell if someone is like a fresh buyer is if we're trading in an area that has already been traded in. So like where we are right now, Jay, like if these are going to be fresh buyers, because we've already traded through this only a couple of minutes ago, right? So anyone coming in, you know, above this low, sellers and buyers not so much. Buyers can be a lot of these sellers, you know, like look at this spike in volume, 558, just above that wick. We know that some sellers trailed out, right? Because it just logically makes sense. If you were in a short, right, anywhere, let's just imagine you shorted here, it doesn't really matter, right? Okay. And you're trailing, and every time it kind of makes a little high, you're probably going to, you know, put your stop just above that little high as a trail. And then the moment it went above that wick, all of a sudden you got a spike in buy volume. Yeah, those are sellers, you know, some sellers getting trailed out. Very, like, it's easy to kind of read that, right? Anywhere that makes sense with structure. We know these are fresh sellers because it's the only logical conclusion, right? It can't be buyers getting stopped out, because that doesn't make any sense, right? So it has to be, you know, fresh sellers coming in. But when we're moving down, and say we take out these lows, right? Any sell volume below after a new low, that could be an element of, you know, sellers taking profit, buyers getting stopped out. It becomes a bit more unclear, right? So it's easier to read once we have a market like what we got right now, where we've created a low, we've created a short-term high. Now, anything in between here as a whole is most likely going to be fresh volume, right? And we can now measure and gauge who is winning in this battle, right? And it's a very choppy battle. You know, sellers are coming in aggressively, buyers come in aggressively, so it's very kind of up and down. But this is the battle right now. Whoever wins in this area will dictate the short-term move. If buyers win, we might drift up for a bit. If sellers win, we're going back down. So it all comes down to like structure, is how you can figure out who is fresh and who is not. There are going to be occasions where it's very hard to figure out. Like, you see that spike right there of massive buy volume? Of course, that's going to be sellers getting stopped out again. You know, sellers would have put their stops just above here. We spiked up. All of a sudden, you see a huge spike in buyers. You know, some sellers within this area are out the market. Now, fresh sellers coming back in. Let's see how effective they are. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of what you want to do, essentially. I hope that kind of makes sense. Just apply logic within structure. Like, imagine you put yourself in the shoes of, like, if I sold here, where's my stop going to be? Well, probably above there. Do you know what I mean? And I would have been stopped out. So if you see a big spike in volume on the buy side, you know that's everyone who took a similar trade to you has just been stopped out, you know? Like all these buyers, where are their stops going to be? These people coming in, probably below this low, right? So if we get below that low and you see a huge spike in sell volume, you know that's not necessarily true sell pressure. It's more likely buyers getting stopped out. I've watched some of your video, but charts are using for your order flow setup here. Which charts am I using? Is that what you're asking, Ola? So this is the delta footprint that I'm using here, trading view as well. And it's I actually have a video on showing you how to set this up on my channel. It's called how to set up volume footprint on trading view. Okay. If you watch that, you'll be able to get exactly the same charts I have. All right. Dante, good to see you. $600 on the push down. Thanks. Perfect. I'm glad you got that. And well done as well. Andy the Geek, Sammy, you guys on Ninja yet? You know what, Andy? We're still not on it, man. Like, there's delay after delay. I do apologize. It's not part of my department, sadly, but yeah, so I only once in a while get an update. But all I can say is it's coming soon, unfortunately. In 5 minutes, will be revised. UMO consumer sentiment. Oh, good idea, actually. I haven't actually checked. I know there's not really much news today. But we do have something about Trump speaking at 9:30, but that's just as market is, funnily enough, closing. This is obviously UK time for everyone. So who knows? Maybe he'll say something there. But that will be, yeah, there'll be a weekend thing. So I can see a lot of sell volume coming in before the weekend, which is again making me slightly suspicious something might be announced on the weekend. Thank you, Peter. Thank you. You speak with a lot of clarity. Thank you, Ola. Nils, thank you. Sammy, I have a question. There's no high or low volume area. How do you know what you see for short? Sorry, let me read that again. I have a question. There's no high or low volume area. How do you know what you see for short? David, I'm not entirely sure what you mean. The only way I kind of recognize there could be a short here is, again, no different to why I got out here, because you could see in the order flow there was a struggle happening, right? So you could see, a bunch of buyers coming in, still coming in, blah, 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 blah. And then it's all about squeezing the people out, right? So these buyers are vulnerable, all this volume. And if we get below them, which we did, there's potential, they'll have to start dropping out the market and exiting. And if they all exit, it all converts to sells and the market can flood down, right? So it is, I do front run it. Really, the confirmation would be like around here is where you should really enter, right? When you see them all drop out in real time. But I like to kind of, because I can have a tight stop. My stop will just be above there. I think that is where my stop was. I wouldn't be able to see, but yeah, my stop was just above there. But again, I got stopped out here because, again, I front runned it, right? I was hoping those sellers that came in here would be able to squeeze out these buyers. All right, no, the buyers squeezed us out, but then here it happened. And because it's such a bearish market, I'm kind of more happy to jump in a bit earlier, without that much confirmation. Cody, thank you. Love how you are constantly describing what you see is going on. I'm learning a lot. Amazing. Thank you, Resolute. Glad to see you're back in your cash account on stream. Yeah, this market has been so good. I'm like, why I should really, normally I trade my cash after the stream. A few hours, couple of hours, I'll trade it. But I don't, I feel like there's just going to be such good moves in terms of shorts because, so yeah. Daniel, good to see you. When are we going long? At this moment in time, I am not touching any longs. Mainly because it's fundamentally driven, this market, right now. And anything with Iran and all this, look, unless news comes out that's very positive and it's confirmed no boots will be on the ground, because I have a very strong gut feeling from looking at the volume that the US will send troops into Iran. So until that is confirmed, and I think the market also has a very strong feeling that's going to happen, right? And if that does happen, it's going to be one hell of a sell-off. So, because that is pretty much the biggest escalation you could think of, apart from, other countries officially joining the war, right? So, and everyone is kind of wanting to know the same thing. That's the big question right now on every trader out there. That's the big question. Are the US going to send troops to Iran? That's the huge question right now. And it hasn't been confirmed, hasn't been denied. It's just been not even mentioned. But the way the market's reacting, it's almost like, they're gearing up, because sellers aren't willing to exit the market that easily as well. And that is what we're seeing, is because that's usually a buildup of orders. Do you know what I mean? If you're looking to swing trade because you have good information that maybe on Monday or Tuesday next week or something, there will be, it will be announced, and that the market is going to drop 5% or whatever, All right, you don't care. You don't care if you short here and it goes to, above this high. You're not going to exit your short then. You're swing trading, right? So you're going to hold on, you're going to be fine. You're not, and we don't really see much. Every time the buyers take a little bit control, we don't see a huge spike in volume or loads of people getting stopped out. And that's the first sign that a lot of the sellers in this market are holding for something bigger. They're holding for a longer term move. They're not scalping as much. Sure, there are definitely still scalpers in the market. There always will be, but it's a bigger, longer term move. And that has that's got me interested and piqued my interest that we're looking at more long term kind of, bearish market. And most likely it's going to be down to troops on the ground. But it's just a hunch. It's just a hunch. I might be completely wrong with that, but it is just a hunch. So I'm not looking to long at all, essentially. Not interested in longing. Thank you for the very good explanation. It's going to take listening to you and learning. Absolutely, Jay. I always compare it to learning a language. At first, if you look at a language or hear it, it just sounds like words. It just sounds like noise. But then, there, some sellers got stopped out. You just saw that little spike. Suspiciously, a big spike in volume just on the high. Yeah, there are still sellers who are scalping, and they have just been stopped out. So now, Jay, what we want to look at is so it spiked to about 900, right? Was the delta. So now it's gone to 1,000. So we know an extra 100 buyers, real buyers, have come in, right? So any volume now that's coming in, maybe not so much here because some people could have their stops a little bit higher, but there's some sellers came in because we dropped back down to 700. So, sellers have come in stronger than buyers after the stops were fresh sellers have come in stronger than buyers in that area, right? There's some real fresh buyers, 334. They can't be stops because the stops would have already been triggered here. So now the question is, are these guys going to be good? Are they able to get the market up? Are they going to fail? This is what we're looking for. It's these people here are going to determine it for us. Because if these people now start failing, we get below them like we just did, shit. Get the pen. This could be a potential good short. So I'm going to jump in as a short already, anticipating that they're going to get, what do you call it? They're going to get squeezed out. Right? And we want to see their volume. I mean, I got in a bit late, but basically we want to see lots of sell volume keep coming in, and not hold off, because it can, fresh buyers are still coming in, but we want to keep seeing them fail, essentially. Fail. If they start becoming good, these buyers, look at that, they're coming in very heavy. I need to get rid of this pen tool because every time I put the pen tool in, I can't actually click anything. We got to be super careful with, fresh buys. So if we don't really get below these buyers quickly, and it looks like they're actually quite good, they're coming in above sellers. So maybe this move ain't going to happen, but we'll give it a few more seconds because sellers might want to, we just want to see some sell pressure. But if it doesn't realistically come in the next 30 seconds or so, or it goes any higher, then we'll just get out of this trade. And unfortunately, unfortunately, buyers took back control again. So, all right, no big deal, right? No big deal. We've got to stop at the high. There could be some sellers who are willing to come in just at the high. There are. So it's not completely over yet. It's not completely over. But you see those sellers there? We want them to be effective. If they can push the market down and squeeze these buyers out, again, these are fresh buyers. We know that, right? They're vulnerable. If we can get below them and kind of squeeze them out, there is still potential in this move. But realistically speaking, if those buyers who are originally in the move are released, yeah, this move isn't happening, and then we're going to get stopped out. And unfortunately, it looks like it might just, few sellers still coming in. Anything? Are they going to be able to hold it? Probably not. I think they might. Yeah, no, we're out. Okay, no big deal. It almost, so you saw the squeeze about to happen, but it just, unfortunately, buyers came in just a little bit too strong and kept the market up. So that is a danger, and that can happen because really you have to get below this black line here for the buyers to truly be squeezed out, right? They never really got squeezed out, these buyers that came in, right? They almost did, but they came in so strong and so aggressively. Unfortunately, they were able to push the market up again, right? But right there, those buyers failed originally. Sellers tried to get below them and squeeze. They did, but then the buyers defended too quickly, unfortunately, with a lot of volume, and unfortunately, the move didn't happen. So now they dictate the next move, right? So we just got to wait for the next rotation, unfortunately. And again, a big spike in volume. Not entirely sure. There's nothing really there, to be fair. So that might just be. So now we're going to look at, imagine if you're a buyer, where would your take profit be? It's a tough one, right? I mean, realistically, up here. I think most buyers' take profit will be all the way up here. I did 3K this morning. Steve Barker says, I did 3K this morning on ES, which got me 1/3 through my prop challenge. Amazing, Steve. Well done. Watch for suspicious volume shortly before market close. Absolutely, Nils. Absolutely. Coach Z, Sammy, from 146 to 149 time of day. Looks like cumulative delta dropped even with green candles, precursor to down move. Let me have a look. 146 to 149. 146 to 149. The cumulative, it's really only this chunk. So I wouldn't, it was really this chunk of sellers and that kind of, tipped the scales a little bit, but I wouldn't call it, I wouldn't say that that's like a signal to go in short. It really, it's really, everything is a domino effect in the market, right? A domino effect is in, look, imagine you bought here, right, on this breakout. Your take profit is going to be up on one of these highs or something. Great, right? And your stop loss might be below here. Now, if you're a buyer, like, you're comfortable right now. You're not going to be freaking out too much if you bought there. But if you bought up here, you're going to be a little bit uncomfortable right now, right? You're going to be like, oh, okay. As it goes against you. And you just got to figure out, like, where are people, the moment buyers exit and give up, that's when sellers can take over. So like, you're seeing sellers come back in. These are fresh sellers, right? They're trying to squeeze out these buyers again. I'm not ready to sell yet. Not ready to sell yet because I'm not seeing the sellers be that effective right now. Buyers are still kind of really holding on and fighting these sellers by adding. See, buyers are willing to keep buying near the top. So you want to kind of see buyers stop doing that or get trapped and then a quick movement below. Sellers are coming in. There's a bit of a choppy area right now. I mean, there could be potential here. There could be potential. But now buyers keep adding. Yeah, I think buyers are going to take this. They're not giving up just yet. So we just got to wait for the buyers to stop, essentially, or get out the market, whether that's take profit, stop loss, whatever. Oh, we just absorbed a lot of them. And they added again. They just keep adding these buyers. Okay. They're still aggressive. They're still very adamant. So we'll let them do their thing. As a whole, sellers are still aggressive here as well. That's why we're going sideways for the most part. But they're both as aggressive as each other. So it's kind of like a coin flip. Do you know what I mean? How about 6470? It was the last absorption on 1 minute before plummeting. 6470. So around here, oh, look at this. Sorry, I keep seeing stuff that's interesting. 6470 around here. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, the buyers took over. See, I'm not willing to sell just yet because I don't think this is. I want to see. Yeah, you're still seeing buyers come in. You saw how that was like 150 and it dropped to negative 23. That means buyers are still happy to buy. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like it could jump in for a short, but there's a good chance it will be very choppy. No one has given up yet, but sellers are going in quite strong, to be fair. But the buyers are still in this market. That's the only thing. All right, I'm going to go in for a short. See if these sellers can actually hold it off now and can keep that momentum going. If they can, great. If not, all right, they are got a bit of momentum now. So where are all the buyers stops? Well, we know there's going to be a shit ton right there. We want to see buyers get squeezed out. You're seeing big, like random spikes in sell volume. That's going to be a lot of these buyers getting out of break even or something. I don't want to see fresh buyers come in, essentially, but they're still coming in. So unless they fail, I'm going to have to get out because then it would just be a quick reversal. Let me handle my cash account first, actually. I'm gonna, because I did jump in on my cash as well. Okay, that's good. Keep it below. Keep adding. That's good. See, they didn't fail. I mean, sorry, the buyers did fail. Sellers. Keep adding. 200, 230. Come on, keep adding. 399, 500. Good. That's a lot of nice sell volume, but it needs to break through. Back down to 300, but they've reloaded to 400. 400, 470, 500. Good. Sellers are still happy to sell, which is a good sign. 200. Oh, big chunk of buyers just came in again. They're still happy to buy. Can we quickly stop them from moving up? That's the question. Sellers need to keep adding, keep adding. For some reason, buyers are very adamant at buying around these areas, which is surprising considering how bearish this market is. There are some buyers who are very ballsy right now. Good. We kind of, we stopped them in their tracks, but they can still keep coming in. This is the problem. So sellers have to keep that energy up as well. The moment sellers stop coming in and buyers come in, then we just go up. So that's the danger. That's all you're looking for. You're looking for the numbers, switching. Like you see how that went to 178, back down 65, back down to 90. That means sellers are coming in, but buyers have jumped it back up again. Oh, 200. Out. Unless they fail. Yeah, I'm getting out. I got out of my cash. Give it a second because they might fail here. Because I can see some absorption now. They keep adding these buyers. I think they got it. Yeah, they got it. I'm getting out. It's not ready yet, unfortunately. Again, buyers are still happy to keep buying for some reason. Good idea to probably look at the longer term and see, are we at any area that makes sense. Why are buyers so adamant at buying here? Okay, we're approaching those lows, but we're still far away from it. We're just in that kind of consolidation there. So I don't know. There's nothing majorly obvious in terms of structure. Maybe it's like a, I don't know, a long-term EMA or something I haven't got on the chart, but for some reason buyers are very adamant. But look at all those buyers potentially trapped here. Can you see that? These buyers here are vulnerable. So I'm going to go back in for a short because we could squeeze those buyers out. All right. Because those buyers are now, they tried to get the market up and failed. Their stops are probably down here or maybe below that black line. If the sellers can push them out, oh, that'll be a good move. That's good. That's going to be the move that, in my opinion, will flood this market down again and break the low. So this is, we're just looking when the buyers exit. They still haven't exited. You see how the volume didn't spike where you would expect it. So they're still in the market, these buyers. We want to see it really, like the sell volume spike up. Buyers are still coming in. Come on, squeeze those bastards out. Let's do it. Come on. Come on. Come on, sellers. You're so close. You can do this. Their stop losses are probably so close by. And they're panicking right now, those buyers. They're going to be panicking. Add more. That's it. Keep adding. Keep adding. Any second now, we're going to get a pop. The moment they're stopped, the moment they exit, the market's going to pop down really quick. The moment they exit, you're going to get this sudden kind of boop, one candle, real quick kind of sudden move. They're still in the market. They still haven't exited. They're still in the market. Buyers are still adding. They're still defending. They're still in the market. I think their stops are probably going to be, it's hard to know, anywhere between, you know, here to here, but somewhere their stop losses are going to be. We'll see it in the footprint when they are stopped out. And then you'll see it in the movement as well. Any second now, I can imagine those buyers are going to drop out. But they're still defending. Look, they're still adding. They're not giving up. These damn buyers are not giving up. Sellers have got to keep that pressure on. If they keep that pressure on, keep adding. And that's another thing. We want to see sellers keep adding. Because if sellers slow down, look at that. Buyers are right now being a bit more aggressive. We need to get below those buyers. Wipe it out, you know. We don't want. That's it. Minus 90. Good. Minus 33. Oh, there was a bit of a. Definitely some got spiked out there. You see how quick it kind of moved? But not the majority. There's still a lot of buyers in this market. They haven't given up. A few did get stopped out there. But more people are still adding. Look at that. 240, 230, 260. They can push this market up. That's the scary part. Until they're out the market, they're dangerous. Come on, sellers, keep adding. 240, 250. Any second now, if sellers just add volume, we'll squeeze them out. Come on, add. That's it. Really come on. Any second now. There was another little spike, but not enough. They're still in the market, these freaking buyers. My God, they're holding on for dear life, these buyers. I mean, I have to say they're really, really holding on here. This is they're adding. They're really being. Come on, sellers, don't let those buyers. Oh, look at that. They added 400. They're not letting go. They are not letting go. I should really probably set a stop loss just in case someone is like news or something comes out and you don't want to get spiked out. because this market can be so dangerous. That's it. Below that 500, squeeze, because look, the more volume these buyers add, the more aggressive the pop will be when they all exit. The more aggressive the move down will be when they finally decide to get out, when they cut their losses. But they're still in the market. You will know when they exit because you will see it happen. They're still adding. They are freaking adamant, these buyers. Oh my. Sellers might start giving up soon, because imagine if you're a seller as well and you're seeing there's some big buyer who's just not letting go. Do you want to be against them? Or are you just going to say, all right, fine. Come on. Come on, sellers. They keep adding these freaking buyers. It was so close. It was so close. We almost had them. I'm not seeing really sellers come in anymore. They're kind of giving up. I'm going to give it another few seconds. I don't want to preemptively get out. Give the sellers a bit more of a chance here. That's it. A few more sellers coming in. Well done. Come on. Come on, get below. Squeeze. 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 Oh dear. Come on. Get below. That's it, sellers. Keep adding. Another 170, 200. Ugh. There's always a freaking buyer at the bottom there. They're not letting go. Come on, any second now. Surely these buyers are going to be like, nah, I've had it, and just exit. Surely these buyers are going to exit. They can't hold on to this anymore. We need to overwhelm them. They're coming in still. They're still defending, but it's not huge amounts of volume, which is a bit better. But also the seller's volume in this candle is not great at the moment. That's it, 120. Nope. Look at that. Buyers adding. Oh, look at that. 300. The buyers are still not letting go. Come on. But like I said, every additional contract these buyers add will only make the squeeze worse if we can squeeze them out. Look at that. 500. They're adamant. My God, they're not giving up, these buyers. Come on. Surely get them out. There is someone in the market who is not allowing themselves to get their stops hit. They do not care. It's a real tight battle right now because you've got sellers trying to get them out the market, but this buyer is, this guy's a lunatic. Just let go. Let go. You can always jump back in. Just let go of your position. It's fine. Look at that. They're just adding and adding and adding. Come on, I want to see big sellers. Sellers have to add. They have to go aggressive here if they want to get this buyer out. It looks like it might be another failed move, sadly. I'll give it another few seconds. I think the buyer might take control here. He might have just saved himself. They keep adding another 250. I'm not seeing really sellers coming in heavy. I want to see big sell numbers, 200, 300, something like that, you know? Come on, sellers. The buyers are still coming in. There's a little bit of sell pressure, 130. See, when the sellers come in, they do okay. Sellers are a bit scared to enter this low down, which makes sense, right? And I think a lot of sellers are also waiting for this buyer to get the hell out the market, because there is a bit of fear that because this buyer is so aggressive and so adamant, it is scary to be up against someone, who's that determined. You would rather wait for them to get out the market or exit before you start thinking about shorting. But hopefully, now they keep adding. They keep adding any second. Come on, sellers. I may have to start looking to exit on my cash here. I'm still in profit because I got in at a bit of a better price on my cash, but we're getting very close to my break even. Come on. Fail. I want to see real failure. This could be it. I like how we trapped them at the top there. This could be the move now. As long as the sellers keep adding, this could be the move. No, the buyer's absorbing them from the bottom. Come on, get below. Get below. Get below any second. Oh, so close. It's really being squeezed into the tiniest little area right now. But I will say, once this buyer drops out, we're going to have a splendid move down. That's the only thing keeping me in right now, because the reward of this trade, if it works out, is going to be amazing. Come on. It's getting very tense here. Very, very tense. I will look at the chat as well. I promise after this, I will look at the chat. They keep adding these freaking buyers. Come on, get below them. Get below them. Get below. Any second now. We just need one giant aggressive seller to say, you know what? Short. And just pile on the contracts and push it down to a point where that buyer cannot hold. That's it. They're starting to sell a bit lower down, that seller. Good. 116. This is it. Come on, squeeze them out. Any second now. We're going to see a massive... Oh, they're still fighting it. They're not... They're still in, the buyers. That buyer is still in the market. Come on. One more push. We're so close. We're probably touching their stops. There's a bit of a spike. Still not the big... They're definitely dropping out some of their position, but it's still not all of it. There, I think, there they are. Whew. All right, good. But I still think there are buyers in this market. We didn't see a massive spike, and they're still coming in. There's still buyers in this market. Still not over. I think their stops are at the low, are literally below the low. Some buyers got stopped out there, but not all of them. This should give enough, This should give enough confidence for some sellers to jump in and say, okay, look, we're gonna keep going down. So I'm hoping sellers, there are still buyers coming in. That's it. I'm hoping sellers do exactly that. Trap them at the top, keep coming in heavy. Oh, look at these buyers. They're still coming in. I think the major buyer is still in the market. A few dropped out, but not all of them. I think it's below that low is where all the buyers are. So below this black line is I think is game over truly for the buyers. We're almost there. Come on. You will get such a sudden move the moment that the buyer exits. It'll be like an explosive boom. And it might only be 1 or 2 candles at most, but that move in itself is good. They're still coming in. You can see that. The buyers are still not giving up. They're seeing it as a good place to buy. We don't want that. We want them to give up. Admit defeat. Frickin' hell, these buyers are starting to take the piss, I'm telling you. Why are they so adamant? Just give up, boys. Sellers are giving up. Look, we're not seeing any sell volume come into the market. I'm still holding it. Still holding it because I want to take out that low. All right, a bit of sell volume coming in, but buyers are reloading it. Come on, sellers. A fresh wave of sellers right now. We need it. We need a fresh wave. There it is. It's relatively low volume on the sell side, though. 83, 33. Nothing spectacular right now. We want hundreds, because we know these are all fresh sellers, right? The numbers before we saw on that candle, on this candle here, that was going to be a lot of buy stops getting hit. So the actual fresh sell volume coming in isn't that great right now, which is not what I want to see, truth be told. There's definitely more fresh buyers coming in than sellers. But it just takes a little bit more for the sellers to really get this move. There's a bit more, 100, 300. That's some fresh sellers. Come on, sellers. Don't get trapped here. Don't trap yourself. Don't trap yourself. Come on. Come on, you son of a... This is so choppy. It's just candle after candle. One bullish, one bearish. One bullish, one bearish. The longest trade I've ever held in my life. Look at all that buy volume. Come on. Where are my sellers at? I know it's low down, but just do me the solid and sell. Give up, buyers. Give up. These freaking buyers. They keep adding. I'm starting to lose hope here. I'm just not seeing the sellers be... Like, where are they? They're non-existent right now. Come on, 60, 80, 96, a little bit better, 102. Little bit of volume there. Come on. There's another 280, so 300. Come on. That's it. Come on. Break through. Please, break through. Back down to 293. So again, a bunch of buyers came back in from 500, 293. Buyers are still not giving up. Get my finger on the exit just in case. Choppy as hell. Breaking that low is going to be such a good moment, I tell you that. Breaking the low. Come on. One last push. You can do it. Buyers are still coming in. Look at that. Buyers are not giving up. We just need buyers to be like, all right, look, there's no point entering. It's fine. That's what we need. Just stop entering, essentially. Stop buying. No need for it. Or we need sellers to be absolutely adamant and come in really aggressively. But this is always going to be the issue when you get near lows, right? When you get near a low or a high, in the case of a low, it's less likely you're going to get sellers willing to sell at a low. You're always going to more likely get buyers willing to buy at a low. That's just human logic. And the same with the high. You're going to get more sellers coming at a high than buyers come in at a high. Until you break out, then all of a sudden everyone wants to sell, right? But for some reason, these buyers are just not giving up. Look at that. Look at that. And when we get a bit of a pullback like that, then, you know, the reason it kind of consolidates in a tight area is because sellers are more likely to, you know, wait for a bit of a pullback before they enter again. And again, Come on. This is just look at this price action. Look at these candles. They're just, it's like a perfect, oh, here we go. Can we finally do it? I like how we trapped those buyers at the top. There's a decent amount of sell volume now finally trickling in. Is that going to spook the buyers enough to finally give up? Hopefully. We just need to spook them, you know, scare them. What would make someone go, oh, yeah, actually, no, I don't want to buy that. That's what we're going to do, you know? Come on, they're adding now. Finally, sellers are being a bit more aggressive here. I think sellers have finally seen the light. There we are. Finally, all the buyers are out. Oh, God. All right, now keep that momentum going. Let's not have this a false breakout and a bunch of buyers just buy the dip. Come on. I need to keep looking at the numbers. So we're at 300. Buyers are buying the dip. These bastards, they're still not... They've been stopped out and then just willing to buy back in. This could be just, unfortunately, a V-shape. I might get out here. Just want to see if the sellers are willing to come back in. 23. It'll be easier to see now. 50, 49. It's more buyers again coming in. It's not sellers. This looks like it might be a reversal. I'm getting out of that position. We had the breakout. The buyers had their stops hit, but they're still willing to buy. They haven't given up. Absolute tragic, these buyers. Absolute tragic. But what can you do? And that's what essentially a false breakout is. Because there's no follow through. There's no real momentum. Sadly. And now all the, see, buyers will just take over. Because sellers are aware that it's a false breakout. No seller wants to sell now. Do you know what I mean? The moment you see that it's a false breakout, most sellers are like, nah, actually, nah, I'm not interested. Like, I have no interest in shorting right now because I know it's a false breakout. Now there's potentially some sellers coming in, but they might fail. We want something a bit more substantial. Buyers are just going to run them over. It's just how it is, unfortunately. This is just market dynamics, you know? Some days they give up, other days they don't. What can you do? I'll look at some of the chat. Let's have a look at what we see here. The continuous boogeyman in the mix is oil. Oil dropping, and that's pushing ES higher right now just to make things more tricky. Absolutely, Peter, you're 100% right there. Scratch that, it was broken. That area is the -1 deviation of daily VWAP. People buying, looking for a rotation from -1 to +1. Interesting. Okay. Thank you, Manu. Exactly. Also the same level as point of control of today's session. Yeah, it's, you know, what can you do? What can you do? If it's just, unfortunately, if there's enough people just savage enough to keep buying, all right, you're just not going to get the move, you know? You're just not going to get the move, sadly. Squeeze the pimple sellers. F buyers, today is selling Friday. We are fighting oil in this short trade. Down right now, if you see the price action against the confluence of daily point of control and value area low, it seems like a pullback to go downwards. Hope so. Holding, but still looks short. Beauty Sammy Hammerfoot candle at 14.45. Oh yeah, I mean, it worked, that one. That was a beautiful one. Sam, good to see you. What liquidity levels are we looking at today, man? We already claimed a weekly low. For me, there's no real major levels right now. I'm playing this literally as a scalper bit by bit, using basic support resistance on, you know, highs and lows, and just seeing who's in the market, who's out the market. That's how I'm playing it. In terms of levels, I mean, a point of control's moved up. We've got a few gaps, but whether we get pullbacks big enough to get into these areas, I don't know. We'll see. There's another one there, but I'm playing it very much purely footprint today because I just want to scalp. I don't want to really mess around. So we've got a high there. Let's see. I mean, look at all that buy volume. Really, a lot of sellers got taken out on that candle right there. So essentially, everyone who entered here, for the most part, lost. Because if you sold here, if you bought here, you would have got taken out. If you sold, you would have got taken out. Everyone here failed. That's just a bad day for everyone, right? No one won. Well, technically I won a little bit, but that was only because I just willing to get out before it would stop me out. But I would call those trades kind of like failed trades. Even if you're in a bit of profit, it's still kind of, because you didn't really get the move that I was hoping for. I was hoping, a good continuation, a nice kind of, real push down with momentum. Didn't really get that, sadly. So if I fail, it is 6492 is daily VWAP. Possible target now. 6492. So a bit higher up. Yeah, I mean, that would be definitely, the more higher we go, the more interested I'll be shorting this market because we're in such a bearish market. So right now, I'm not really interested in shorting unless I see something really good on the footprint, but I'm not really that interested in shorting at this moment in time. I mean, maybe at this high potentially, but after that kind of false breakout, I think we might get a bit more of a substantial pullback. Because these buyers were just so adamant. They didn't care. They just kept wanting to buy. Cody's made his daily goal, done for the day. Excellent stuff. Well done, Cody. Well done. So, what are we looking at? Becomes a little bit more difficult to read. So I really only got to read it from these last three candles because this is the high. Sorry, right here. So any volume. We had a bunch of buyers come in, fresh buyers. They could get squeezed out, but I just don't see them. I don't see them giving up just yet, these buyers. It hasn't been enough of a push where I can imagine the buyers will give up. And we saw that just a second ago. 180 buy contracts again came in. Yes, the sellers absorbed them, but buyers are still very much willing to keep buying. And that's the danger. Buyers are happier to buy higher up than sellers are happier to short lower down. Does that make sense? Like, sure, sellers are happy to short up here. We're near a high. But they could very easily fail. But buyers are still happy to keep entering. I mean, we might get the move. Fair enough. I mean, we did get a bit of a move there, but who knows, I'm not going to chase it. I think these buyers are just going to come back in somewhere again. And all right, we might get a bit of a pullback, but I can imagine buyers will just keep wanting to come back in. They were too adamant for my liking, and boom, look, back in again. That's why I'm not chasing it just yet. And I think that 600 we see there on the sell side, that's probably just a few buyers getting stopped out, right? Maybe at break even, maybe, was just a little bit too much of a pushback for them. Just got out. So I don't think that's true sell volume. This is true sell volume, but look, they're kind of, I mean, if they can hold, potentially we got something. But the buyers are just too extreme right now. If buyers fail here, potentially we got something. But I would expect a bit more, you know. Nah, see, they keep adding buyers. They're just happy to keep buying. And I don't think the sellers want it enough at this moment in time. I think most sellers are like me, where we're waiting for a bit more of a pullback before we want to go short again. It's just been too shallow to short. Look at that, 300 buyers are just happy. They don't care. They're just happy to keep shorting. I mean, keep buying, sorry. And the buyers got this. For now, the buyers have got it. So we want to see the buyers stop, essentially. When do they give up? When will they give up? It's a lot of volume. But they are starting to slowly fail here a bit. I think there is definitely an iceberg or something sitting here. They might actually fail. Because that was a lot of volume and it didn't go anywhere. I'm going in short really quick. I'm going to have a stop, the tightest stop you can imagine, just up here. Because if those buyers failed, completely failed, I mean, yes, they're going to keep coming back in. I know that. But I think we got an iceberg in this area. So sellers are willing to keep selling. There could be something here, but it has to be the tightest stop you can imagine. I think, unfortunately, sellers have stopped just for a split second there for a little while. It looked like it might do something. But I think, yeah, I think the buyers unfortunately got this now. Maybe not. Let's just see. Because we're going to release those buyers and they're just going to add. And they're adding, yeah. So, all right, not quite. Not quite. I thought for a second there we might have something, but sadly, no, we don't. Not yet, at least. Let's wait for a bigger move. This is a bit of a boring market, right? We haven't really done much. We've got that lovely down move, which we caught. That was beautiful. But apart from that, since then, it's just been chop as hell. Very, very choppy. There hasn't really been, I would say, any decent move. But I'm definitely seeing absorption. Interesting. In this whole area here, buyers are definitely getting absorbed. There's just not enough aggression from the sellers to really make a move happen as of yet. KDX rider, sorry. Down is still healthy, structure intact. Yeah, absolutely, Katie. I mean, I'm still very much on the bearish side of the market, but I believe that we are on a pullback. So I'm just waiting for the pullback to finish, essentially, you know. But there is an unusual amount of buying happening, which makes me believe that it will probably be a bit more significant, this pullback. ZT Content, good to see you. So, Sammy, you're not just looking at where major buyers and sellers are coming in, but more importantly, perhaps you're looking at the manner in which they're coming in, correct? Absolutely, yeah. Context is huge. In other words, you're trying to read the psychology behind the buying and selling pressure. Absolutely, absolutely. Always, like, look at these guys who try to get the breakout, right? These guys are now vulnerable. Imagine if you're in the market. If we get below them, they might drop out. And if they drop out, that's going to add more sell volume. And I'm looking at potentially going short here. I'm going to go short again. I have a bigger stop because these guys might get squeezed out here. Still a dangerous move because I'm not seeing a huge amount of sellers, but the sellers are coming in because they've spotted it as well, right? Sellers have spotted that failure there, and they're coming in aggressively now to try and get these buyers out. But remember, the buyers were extremely adamant at getting this market up earlier. So are they going to be very quick to get out the market? We'll see. We shall see. But if I see sellers fail, I will get out too. And I'm seeing slowly, see, like this doesn't look good right now. The fact that there's sellers at the bottom here, I don't like that. And the fact that buyers are adding, they're trying to get above. If we really get above that 507 and release those buyers, that's kind of my cue to get out, I would say. But as long as sellers can kind of keep it, the mass majority of volume, of buy volume, keep below that, you know, it's gonna scare the buyers. But the buyers are still, they're not giving up, and that's unfortunate right now. They're still not giving up. 220, 230. Look at that. They're just adding. They're not willing. They're not willing yet, and the sellers just aren't adamant yet. So I'm gonna get out. Are they still adding? Not just yet. I'm just seeing if sellers are still trying to, you know, squeeze these people out. Because they could very much still be like, you know what? I like the idea of squeezing them out and stay in the market. 49. The sellers are still trying to squeeze them out. So they haven't given up on the squeeze. But no, buyers are still buying up into it. $22. It's just not a lot. Come on, where's the big volume? If you want to squeeze them out, where's the big volume? 126, 110, 70. This is all just minor stuff. Nah. And then buyers have added, I think. Yeah, then the buyers have got this. The sellers have given up now. 160, 200. Yeah, the sellers are well and truly given up. They're not interested anymore. So we can get out nice and early. We don't even have to wait for the stop to get hit. There's stops all gone. Sell stops just got hit there. So almost again, every time the buyers put in volume, the sellers are trying to squeeze them. But it's actually almost making me flip a little bit on how aggressive these buyers are. This is a lot. This is a lot of buy volume. Like on the open, where's the open? 130. Here it is. So like the cumulative volume kind of, you know, peaked at on the sell side, 26,000 down here, right on the low. Since then, so since this low here, buyers have put in, now we're at negative 13,000. So 13,000 buy contracts have come in since that low, which is a ridiculous amount. That is a lot of buying. They're very, very adamant, these buyers. I'm still overwhelmingly more short on this market. But again, look, sellers trying to come back in. Now, I don't want to short it just based on that. I want to see buyers fail. But at this moment in time, I don't think Because the problem, the market we got right now, what's happening is sellers will keep trying to come in and try and get this market down and squeeze them out. But then buyers will just keep buying it up, and not allow themselves to get squeezed. So until buyers give up, that's when we're going down. You have to wait till buyers give up. And when I say give up, I mean stop buying, essentially. The moment you see buy volume just sort of dry up, then okay, we could start looking at potentially jumping into this market again. But until then, they're just adamant, these buyers. We just took out that little high. Look at that. We just took out all the stops from sellers. So we're still waiting. Rav, good to see you. Hope everyone is staying safe in this terrible choppy crap. Yeah, this is very choppy and nasty right now. On 5 minute, is it making double bottom? Does that matter? I mean, yeah, it's technically a double bottom. So look, again, sellers trying to squeeze out the buyers. The question is, do you see buyers come in? We're seeing them trickle in at the bottom here. So I don't really want to be shorting it yet. Look, buyers are still willing to get in, but they are potentially about to fail. Potentially be interested in getting into this market. I like how those buyers failed, but they're still adding so much volume, and that's the danger here. They're not giving up, buyers. They're still willing to add. I'm going to go in because if we get above those buyers there, those were fresh buyers. So I can have a stop like that. Maybe the sellers can finally take it now. A fresh wave of sellers. Maybe buyers will be willing to give up. But again, front running the trade here because buyers haven't given up, right? They actually haven't given up. They're still adamant. So I got in at 472 on my cash. 472. So that's where my cash account trade is. So a little bit better than this account. But look at that. Look at that. Again, they're still willing to buy. Can the sellers sell into that? Or are they giving up, the sellers? 167 minus 74. Okay, so the sellers haven't given up, but buyers are still buying into it. Look at that. Back up to 49.71. The buyers are still buying the dip. I think, unfortunately, I'm going to let it go near my stop because the real area of kind of interest was it was these guys here, right? It was this chunk of buyers who are the question mark. It's those people who we can't allow them to escape, essentially. And what I mean by escape is get above them and get them out of drawdown. If they escape, it's you know, the likelihood is we'll go back to the highs again. Oh, Holy Earth. I just saw it on the corner of my eye. Thank you. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Very, very kind of you. Thank you. Okay. We should squeeze them out. So where are those buyer stops going to be? Well, that low there is really the obvious one. We might get a few people below this little bit of kind of, it's not really even chop. I wouldn't even call that to be an area, to be honest. We've got to get below that low there then. Before I can imagine a lot of buyers dropping out. But what I do like is how sellers are very aggressive. And notice the volume distribution is looking a little bit more in our favor. Buyers are generally, the main amount of buyers are above price right now, right? So we're trading below them. That means they're in drawdown. If they're in drawdown, they might get squeezed out. The only thing that can get this market up again is if fresh buyers keep trying to buy it, keep trying to buy the dip. If they keep doing that, there's nothing we can do. We just have to react to it and say, all right, well, it's not gonna happen, you know. So just keep your eye on the actual numbers as it comes in, like 38, 25, 17, 45. But you're seeing how buyers are still coming in, 111. Look at that big chunk of buying. That's still telling us that buyers are still happy to keep buying the dip. So it's not going to be an easy move down. There's a good chance sellers might give up and this can go back up again. But as long as, like, we're seeing sellers come in as well, the moment we see sellers kind of give up, like, that's good. Look at that, how the sellers got rid of all that buy volume. And when they do add, look at that 187, we're able to make some kind of progress, right? We're just hoping the buyers stop. If they truly stop and say, ah, shit, okay, maybe that's it, and stop buying completely, pretty much, we get another move like that, like a really nice sell-off. And that is what we're hoping for. But we need to have more sellers keep coming in, make it look scary for the buyers, you know, something you don't want to buy into, right? Lots of volume, lots of, you know, quick movement, also the speed of it as well, the momentum. People don't like to trade against momentum, right? If it's really choppy and slow, people are more likely to say, oh, okay, maybe I'll buy now, right? But if it goes with momentum, people are like, oh, yeah, actually, I don't want to be caught on that. You know, so the speed matters as well. It's all down to the psychology of how people react to it, of what makes people want to buy as well. It's not just always the technical support, resistance, VWAP, all that kind of stuff. It's also down to like how it happens in real life at the moment. But notice how like choppy it is right now. The sellers are, yeah, it's going down, but they're not really that scary, the sellers right now. Like, a lot of people wouldn't have a problem necessarily buying the dip right now because it's nice and slow. It's very choppy, and that's why we need momentum as well. You know, we need to scare the buyers, scare them. If they're scared, they're not going to enter. Sure, they'll enter probably at the lows again, but that's, you know, we can target that as a take profit. That's absolutely fine. I will look at the chat. Look at that. Buyers still willing to buy. 200, 164, back to 200. They're still adding. Sellers are not really breaking that number much further down. You're not really seeing much sell pressure come in. So this is the first sign. You know, if we don't quickly get below that 198, I would say exit. 124, 20. I need to see something from the sellers now. 100. That buyers bought it back up. I'm getting out. I've exited on my cash. Let the Ola Prime account maybe. Nah, buyers keep buying it. And do you see what I mean? Just the sellers stopped. They didn't sell. They just gave up. And there's nothing we can do, unfortunately. And buyers were willing to buy again because we didn't look scary enough, you know? So one good sign, though, is that a lot of buyers came in. They could potentially be trapped. If I see a bit of sell volume, I might jump in again. Okay, maybe I'll go back in. Let's see if the seller, I'll give them another chance now. I don't want to get above that 358, so I'm going to have my stop there now. Because maybe the sellers, those buyers might start panicking and say, oh, that was a failed move up, and see it as a failure, and therefore maybe be more willing to hold off, hopefully. So let's see what happens. Otherwise, let me just sort this stop out. All right, that looks good. Got my finger on exit on my cash. I've entered on my cash as well. All right, that's some good. A little bit of trickling of the sellers. I think the sellers might have it. Come on, squeeze them out. I think buyers have kind of stopped trying to buy it as much now, which is a good sign. As I said that, there was some buying, but it's okay. It's nothing major. Sellers are willing to sell. Definitely buyers dropping out. So we've got now finally some buyers have dropped out, but not a huge amount, right? But they're willing to buy again. Right? Fresh buyers, as old buyers were dropping out, fresh buyers were coming back in. The only positive sign we have right now is the fact that this was a failed move up, and a lot of buyers are going to be a bit spooked by that, right? Oh, look at that. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe they're not spooked at all. But this is going to be an interesting thing, because if we trap those buyers and if we get below them, this is good, because these people have put in a big bet, these buyers, right? That was a big institutional buyer put in a big bet. Let's squeeze that arsehole out. No offense to any buyers. Because that person's going to sweat. So this could be a very nice move. That's why I'm holding into it, only because there was a big chunk. Yes, if we can't get below them, I will get out. But as long as sellers are willing to fight him and fight that big buyer, I'm happy to stay in. 78, good. Minus 91. Come on, minus 50, minus 70. Come on. No, the buyer's still defending it. 85, 100, 125. Look at him. He's defending. He might take this. 100. He probably will take it. I'm not seeing sellers really pushing up against him right now. Come on. I'm at break even. A little bit in profit still. Oh, he's added again, another 400. We absorbed him. Boom, we've taken him out. That's what I'm talking about, boys. That's what I'm talking about. All right, let's keep that momentum. Spook the shit out these buyers. Let's make that scary enough that they do not want to enter. Sellers, everyone, jump on the damn train and start selling. This is our market. Come on. I want to see these sell numbers get bigger and bigger. Buyers are still trying to frickin' buy the dip. Man, they're not giving up. It's still dangerous. It's still dangerous because a lot of that sell volume isn't real sell volume. That is just stops. Look at these buyers aggressively trying to get in, it's probably that same buyer. Probably that same buyer who has, for some reason, is just adding right now. They're saying, nope, I want this market to go up. Let's do it again to him. He's still not given up, this son of a bitch. I'm telling you, this person is insane. Still hasn't given up. Normally, most time, usually people give up at that point. This guy still hasn't given up. He's just added 700 because why the hell not? And I'm not seeing fresh sellers. Come on, sellers. But the good news is there was one seller around this area here that took out that low. That seller is our ally, right? We don't want that seller to get squeezed out. We want that seller to fight this buyer and squeeze the buyer out. If that seller gives up, we got to get out the market too, right? There's no hope for us because that's our only ally right now, is where that 400 is. He's our only hope. Come on. Come on. Obviously, there's going to be, it's going to slow down here because buyer and seller are locking horns. I want to see this guy just give up completely. This buyer has to give up. And it does beg the question why this buyer is so adamant, which does worry me a little bit naturally, because I mean, why be so adamant? I mean, my stop can now kind of be a bit lower down. But I'm going to give it a little bit more breathing room just in case it gets a bit wicky. Because this buyer is insane. Just want him to give up. That's it. mean, I'm in decent profit on my cash, but I want more. I want to squeeze him out. Come on, there we go. Here we go. We're going to get him out. We're going to see a massive spike in sell volume. Give me a big spike. Show me he's exited. Show me he's exited. Come on. Exit. Exit, you son of a bitch. Just give up. I don't know. Some people are so adamant, man. They just don't look at it. He's still not given up, this guy. Still hasn't given up. Come on, sellers. Let's punish him. He's created all this nasty, choppy market. Let's punish him for all the pain he has put us through with all this bullshit movement. We could have had such a nice trending market if it wasn't for that bastard. Come on, let's punish him. Still not. He's still in there. He's not giving up. Look at that. He's adding 400. Why? Why, dude? I'm starting to think this guy knows something more than... I'm starting to think he knows something is going to be announced or something, because this guy is adamant as hell. I have never seen someone this adamant before. He just won't give up. I might look at potentially exiting, because I'm seeing the sellers are... Come on, sellers. I want to see a little bit of glory from you here. Show me that you're still willing. Look at that. He's adding 400, 500. This guy is insane. Jeez Louise. Yeah, all right. I'm out on my cash. I've taken it. This guy is just insane. I'm going to hold it on the Ola. Bit more, what's the word? Careful with my... I'm going to hold it. I don't mind my stop being hit on the Ola Prime account, but I don't want to be... So my cash account, I'm out. He's just... This guy's adamant. He's not letting go. I'm telling you, it's one giant institution that's just not giving up. They are not giving up. And unfortunately, our ally looks like... I mean, they haven't given up yet either, to be fair. But I'm not... I haven't got high hopes for him. Yeah, look. Oh, something's happened. This guy knew something. What's going on? Anything on financial juice? He knows something. He knew something. Right? What has just been announced? Come on. Come on, financial juice. Show me. What just happened? That felt very news-like. Because he wasn't giving up, that buyer. You saw it. He was so aggressive. I feel like he knows something. I'm glad I got out my cash on there. Very glad. Nothing has come out yet. All right. Nothing has come out just yet. So let's redraw some of these areas. Obviously, we got that high there. I mean, this is all insane right now, so we don't really want to be playing around. But I feel that was some news related, but nothing has yet. What is this? Free access trade? I don't know what this is. Leave me alone. Financial juice hasn't what's the word? Hasn't shown anything, but that felt very news-like. Or that is someone insider trading and putting a huge order on. If that wasn't news-based, then someone has just bought a shit ton. It could be insider trading, and something might just shoot up. They're about to put it into financial juice. I just heard the squawk. Financial juice seems to be frozen. Yeah, I want to confirm if this was actually a news candle, because if it wasn't associated with news, that is very suspicious that all this buy volume just came in, boom. And we know how much insider trading has been going on in the last few days. I might look at going in for a buy. Oh, here we go. 525. Was that it? All right, I'm going in for a buy just based on potentially something's coming out. White House officials are cautiously hopeful that the latest negotiations with Iran. Right, so this person has bought because of that. Because it's positive news. They're hopeful. But it hasn't really affected the market, which is strange. You would expect a huge kind of, you expect a big movement. So I feel like more is going to come out any second. Something more is going to come out. Are cautiously hopeful that latest negotiations with Iran are making progress. CBS reporter. Well, that could have been just maybe financial news is a bit behind. It's hard to know. I don't know if that is reaction of that news or if that was someone insider trading. I'm going to hold off and say that could be insider trading. So I've randomly just placed a buy order at just in case it is, because I'd like to catch it then, I want to be part of the big boom up. I mean, I want to be part of the insider club. So let's see what happens. I mean, I feel like maybe more could come out because that officially came out at 325, right? Which is this candle here. But the move happened at 2 minutes before, 323. So I don't know if that's just financial juice being slow and that is actually the reaction to that news. Because we can kind of confirm that whoever this buyer was, you saw how adamant they were. It was really weird how adamant they were. They obviously knew something. So that person was insider trading, sure, but they were doing it in bits. They were kind of scaling it. They weren't just one big explosive move. The question I'm asking is this candle due to the news being a bit delayed on financial juice? And this is actually traders who had, the news came out a bit earlier for them and that's their reaction? Or was that some idiot doing a massive buy expecting more news to come out? And do you know what I mean? And that was actually insider trading. That is my big question right now. And I don't know which one is true. Because the market hasn't really reacted at 525. See, financial, okay. It's 323. Now it's up. Now it's updated. So it was just financial. My question's been asked. That is already the news. Okay, that wasn't insider trading. That was already the news being reacted to. So this candle here was because of that. So that wasn't insider trading. But the buyer before, who was so adamant, we were saying, this guy's just not giving up. What the hell's going on? It started getting a bit suspicious around, I think around here, I started getting a bit suspicious. I was like, does this person know something we don't know? Because they're just not giving up. They're very adamant here. I mean, so yeah, that person knew this was going to happen, but it's not a huge move for all that volume. I feel like more can actually be squeezed out here. I mean, it was a 20-point move. I feel like more can be squeezed out because that person put a lot of volume in, for 20 points? Like, sure, they probably expected the move to be even bigger. But it's a bit lackluster, do you know what I mean? A little bit lackluster of a move. I would have expected a bit more of a, because we had one last night. A massive push up. Again, same shit, right? But that was like, yeah, okay, that was a significant, decent move up. I can't remember where it was. There it is, right? We had it yesterday around 8 o'clock my time. Maybe they were expecting a move more like that. Who knows? But I'm going to hold it for a bit until I see that buyer get out. Then I'm kind of happy to like, okay, fine. I too will get out. But we're seeing, like here, this is suspicious buying happening right now. We know that is fresh buyers. Why? Because we haven't taken out the highs. They can't be sellers getting stopped out. That's all fresh buyers. Again, a random spike in buy volume. Suspicious, right? So I am in a trade in my cash account as well. I didn't put much size on, sadly. I put only half what I usually put on, and this is actually working quite nicely because I wasn't sure at the time if that was the reaction already, so I didn't want to put too much volume in. But it's fine. I'm either way, I'm still in it. So now all I want to do is track when this buyer gets out the market, okay? And then I too will also exit. But that was very this whole session here, that buyer who just wouldn't give up and kept adding and was so adamant, yeah, it was suspicious, 100% suspicious. Because it doesn't make sense, why would you randomly buy in such a bullish market and be that adamant? Like, no one's that stupid, do you know what I mean, to do it. So the only reason they were doing it, they're not dumb. They know it's information, right? They have information that we are not aware of, and that is why they're doing it. So I'm going to keep holding this trade, essentially. I don't care about highs, lows. I'm going to see, especially after that big chunk of buying, because that was a bit suspicious buying, in my opinion, right? That candle there was slightly suspicious. So maybe we get a nice something else comes out, and we get a really good pop and a really good, because that was a lot of volume to put in for. Yes, it is red, but it didn't have that much of a move. It really wasn't all that, I think, realistically speaking, for the amount of risk that person put on the line, I think they're expecting something bigger. Who knows? We'll see. So I'm going to keep holding it. Man, this is a whole new market dynamics we have to learn lately. We have to learn how to track insider trading and all that kind of stuff. This market has been a very interesting market lately. You can almost, in a weird way, not throw away the technicals, but it is very, very fundamentally driven. And that's why the technicals never work as well when the market is extremely fundamentally driven and when there's insider trading and stuff like that, but the clues were there, the signs were there. So I just want to see if this person is exiting at any point, Just want to see. I kind of have to keep my eye on it, annoyingly, because I want to see if there's like an obvious spike, of buyers. Because who knows, they might exit at the highs, right, as I take profit. It's hard to know. I have no idea what's in their mind and what their game plan is, right? I can only assume their game plan would be for a big move up. And I don't feel like we've had a big move up. Like, yes, we've had a decent move up, but in comparison, I mean, it's not even as big as the downward move that we had here. It's not really that special of a move, And it's hard to know. It's hard to, yeah. That's the hard thing about insider trading, is because you just don't know what that person is, what their plan is. Like when it comes to technicals and technical analysis, you can figure out someone's plan. Well, stop loss below the low, you know, take profit maybe at that high. You can kind of figure it out, right? But this person, he might know that in 6 minutes something else will be announced. So he's just, you know, I want to see if that aggressive buying is still there as well. If that person is still buying constantly, then you know that they're do you know what I mean? They're willing. So that is the only way we can now determine whether they're still in the market, is do we still see that crazy buying happening? And we are still seeing that buying. You know, they're still buying up the dip. So I think there's going to be more announced, potentially. I don't think that was the move that they're truly waiting for. Because otherwise they'll just get out. You know, the move would have happened. Not much of a reaction. All right, fine. Cash your chips, right? But we're still seeing that aggressive buying. Look, I think they know more is happening. So I'm going to keep holding it. Keep holding this motherfucker. Until I see suspicious activity stop. Until suspicious buying stops, I'm going to hold it. I mean, there are obviously sellers still trying to, you know, short, which makes sense. But while that buyer is in the market, I am going to be bullish. I have joined the team of that buyer, although I hated him earlier. I have joined his team now, so I'm rooting for him. There's still buying happening. It's not huge amounts, but you know, 130, they're still coming in. So if that buyer is still willing to, he's still happy to buy, you know, quite high up, that's generally a good sign, right? They're not too worried. But there are some sellers trying to take over. They're still coming in 180, 60. It's not that aggressive, though. It's not as aggressive as it was. Where is this? It's not as aggressive as he was he? I felt like he was a bit more adamant earlier. Maybe I'm just being a bit impatient here. Where is he now? Come on. Where are you, buyer? There you are. Whenever you see a big chunk, that's how you know it's him. And it's probably multiple institutions as well. I mean, multiple will have similar information. It's not just going to be one person. I talk about it as if it's one guy. It's obviously not just one guy, but it just makes it easier to kind of like imagine, you know, just some dude with a cigarette just controlling this market. Makes it a bit more interesting. There he is. Yeah, you can see them buying it up still. So they're still happy to potentially buy, meaning they're probably they're still not that aggressive though. There's a bit of aggression, but I'm not. See, like this is so against everything. Normally I'd be like, get the hell out if you're in this trade, because the technicals are looking terrible for a buy position. Like, oh, they're all getting squeezed out, you know. So it's very hard for me to look at this and not exit the position, truth be told, because every fiber in my body is telling me, get the hell out of this trade. Because I'm looking at it from a technical standpoint, but I'm trying to override my emotional side and be like, look, use logic here. This person knows something. Stick with them. They might know what they're doing here. Take that leap of faith. I hope that kind of makes sense. This is painful. Where are you, buyer? Where are you, my friend? Oh, I don't like that. That could be a lot of stops getting hit right there. Did you see that? I don't like that at all. Buyer, don't tell me you're out the market. Where are you? Who could that have been? What could that have been? That might have just been other retail, other traders, getting out potentially. That is a lot of sell volume, but shit. This is hard. Because there's every bit of me is telling me to get the hell out of this damn market. But I almost believe in this buyer. But I'm not seeing this freaking buyer anymore. Where is he? Like, it looks like he's given up, right? I don't see any buy pressure coming in anymore. Dude, where are you? I thought you were here. Maybe he has left the market. No, he couldn't have left the market. I would have noticed him leave, surely by now. Okay, potentially that could be him. I'm trying to look out for him. I'm like, where are you? My friend, I know I spoke badly about you, but let's be friends. Be nice to me again. Buy this market. I think you're a great person. I like your insider trading. It's good. You keep insider trading, my friend. You know what you're doing. You keep doing that. Just do what you did before. Keep buying like you did before. That would make me happy. This is weird because I'm trading differently to how I usually would trade, and it just doesn't. I'm not used to trying to hope. You're hoping that this person is, knows something, because I'm literally putting my I'm putting my trade in this random person's hands, who I have no idea who they are. Do you know what I mean? That's it. Okay. It looks like he might still be in the market, hopefully. I really don't want these buyers to fail. Please don't fail. Do me proud. Stay above. Let's not trap them. Come on, buyer. Who do you think this buyer is? Drop some names in the chat of who do you think the insider is. Anything new come out on the financial juice? Nothing interesting. It's all just Fed stuff, but it's nothing too major. All right, I'm starting to like this buy volume come in. He may have just clenched it back. Because I'm expecting a proper rip up. I'm hoping that this person is still in the market. He's still buying because they know something else is about to be announced and there's going to be a huge rip up like we had yesterday in the evening. I'm hoping it's one of those situations, but that's all it is. It's pure hope. And I don't like trading with just pure hope. And I'm trying to ignore the technicals. I am trying to ignore the order flow when it looks bad, and trying to hold through that and just hope that this person knows what the hell he's doing. And that's completely new for me. Do you know what I mean? I'm not used to that. I would have got out of this market, this buy position, a long time ago. I would never have held that push down. All right, let's look at the positives. The positives is this, right? That was a bit of suspicious buying. I guess it might not be suspicious. I might just be actually a collective people buying, because after that big move kind of makes sense, right? And it looks like we were drifting up. All right, buy, buy, buy. But I don't like how kind of calm it's become a little bit. It's become a little bit calm. It's so hard to read right now. It really is hard to read. Like, I don't like this. I don't like the fact that because if it is news, look, it could happen randomly at any point. There'll be nothing in the technicals that will really kind of predict the news other than tracking this one person. I'm just trying to track that one person, and I'm adamant, as long as I feel that they're still in the market, I'm going to try and hold this trade. And I have no reason to think that they exited, right? If we look at the 15-minute, maybe we can kind of get a better idea of their volume, right? It'll be hard to know, but I think there are many thousands of contracts in, right? Many, many thousands in. Because they just kept buying. And you see the little pockets where they just went super aggressive, super aggressive, super aggressive everywhere, right? They just accumulated a massive order all in this area. Where their average price is, God knows, right? And then, yes, we did have a decent spike up, but it wasn't decent enough for what I would have expected as, you know, what they would have expected as well. I would have thought they would have done all that for a bigger payday. It just wasn't a big enough payday. But maybe the market just didn't react as aggressively as they anticipated. That could be true. I mean, we don't know how the markets are going to react, right, to news. We might know something positive will come out and the market should shoot up, but whether it shoots up 50 points, 500 points, that is kind of, it's very hard to gauge, right? But then I didn't really see an obvious exit. Yes, I did. Like, yes, there was a shit ton of, you know, sell instantly after the move. And that could potentially be a lot of them exiting. And there was a lot of sell volume. I'm starting to think potentially, because I'm not seeing that aggression really come in like it was before. Like, yes, we're getting some buying happening, but it's not in massive chunks always. Like, keep your eye on the numbers, right? Negative 21, negative 11, negative 9, 130. Okay, there's a little bit of chunks, but that could still be general. That doesn't necessarily strike me too suspicious at the moment. Because it wasn't how it was before. Before, it was a bit more, like, you could tell they were adamant. They had that kind of aggression. They really just didn't, like, they just wanted to get in. They didn't care. This doesn't feel like they have that same passion for buying right now, which worries me. And now I'm starting to think, could this be them getting the hell out after the move and then just dropping their order? And the majority of their volume, they're pretty much out. Maybe they got a little bit left in the market. Do you see what I'm saying? That is kind of what I'm starting to potentially think. And we did see a big spike of sellers, so we know that was a lot of buyers exiting, you know? It's a tough one to call. Okay. To be on the safe side, I'm going to presume he exited most of his trade on that little immediate push down. That was him lightening his position very quickly. And now I'm going to treat this as technicals again, because truth be told, I don't think I'm confident enough that insider trading guy is still in the market. I don't know for sure. I will never know for sure, but whether I want to hold a trade long enough to kind of, for something that may never happen is a bit, I need to have some kind of risk management. I can't just hope for the best, So I'm going to treat it very, I'm going to again start looking at the technicals. Let's see, as long as buyers keep trickling in, keep pushing it up, I'll hold it. But if I see, something like sellers again trying to squeeze out buyers and buyers potentially getting squeezed out, I'll get out. So I'm gonna do the that's what I'm gonna do. That is what I'm gonna do. Make inside trading great again. Thank you, guys. I think we might revisit the view up, and if it rejects, it'll be a big plummet. Potentially, yeah. I'm slightly losing hope. Slightly losing hope. It was me, Sammy, but I took my profits. Mastro, of course it was you. I thought it was you. I did think it was you. Yeah, see, look. Sellers are coming in quite aggressively. Let's see what these sellers do. If we can get above them again, same idea. Our buyer's going to come in and defend 140. 139, 140, 80, 70. That's a lot of sell pressure. Yeah, I'm going to get out. I'm going to take my money. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. Truth be told. That's a bit annoying. That is a bit annoying. I would love to be, in the market when one of those big news spikes happen, and be in the market with someone who's insider trading and make a shit ton of money, but it's very hard to track. Very, very hard to track. But it's all good. It's all good. I think that was quite an interesting session, all in all. I think that was a bit of a longer one. But yeah, guys, I see loads of comments. There are so many comments to catch up on. Wow. Sammy, are you still long? I just got out ZT. I think there's people trying to front run some potential news hitting and hoping for a big market reaction because the technicals is up on a shit street at the moment. Yeah, I agree. I'm still, like, overall technical wise, I'm still very bearish on this market, obviously. And I think that worries me. I don't know. I'm too conflicted right at this second in time. I'm going to presume that buyer got out the market until I see something that looks really suspicious again. Otherwise, I'm assuming I'm going more short in general. Who knows? But yeah, guys, I think I'll leave it there. That was a very long session. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great weekend as well. And I'll see you all Monday. Let's see if we wake up Monday with some crazy news and the market is tanked 10% or something crazy. I have a feeling something like that will happen. But yeah, have a great one, everyone. I'll catch you all Monday. Have a great weekend. Take care all. Thank you.